and then I'm going to mute everybody and we'll get to it. So seated meditation as usual, just maybe a minute. Again, in your own practice that hopefully you are engaging in on a daily basis of some kind. It's just about carving out time. That's the first step, is carving out. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's an hour, but carving out time in your schedule where put on some music that you enjoy and start to apply some of the tools that I've been offering now for quite some time. A lot of tools, but the tools are useless unless you actually put them into practice. So first tool, sit at the edge of your chair, chin down, little teacup idea resting on top of the head. Feel the buttock bones going through the chair. And you want to experience that upright quality of the body that comes not from holding yourself upright, but from the opposite of that, which is by aligning everything and then releasing, sloughing off the tendency that we all have. The way the brain, nervous system, and body work together is that when we're, feeling a little bit cautious, everything tenses up. When we're, thinking elsewhere, we're not residing with our body and our breath, things tense up, things get kind of off kilter. So the practical value of mastering your mind, what the Taoists call the intention, the attention, the presence, the ability to place the mind in a particular relationship with your body. And nobody can do that for you. I can speak about it, guide it, give opportunities, ideas for how to direct it. But over time, that's what a practice yields, is you gain mastery of that. And I've watched with all my private client work with the folks in the Parkinson's community, it has never not worked when someone places their attention and puts it to practice on a technique, which is very heartening and very interesting, really. The only time I see it not work as much is when that exhaustion, when someone is exhausted, then it's like, okay, I can't. But as long as you're feeling rested, you got energy, if you direct the mind to a particular idea, I see it work. So that's what we're working on here, is the idea of empty and full, the idea of aligned and relaxed. So again, I can only lay them out to you, and then you have to actually ingest them, process them, and practice them. So final 30 seconds here, upright, breathing, feeling that central axis, that upright quality, and notice that you don't have to hold it, but instead it remains there with its own integrity if you relax. Long, full breath in, holding for a moment or two. Long breath out, holding for a moment or two. And this first little module of 3 exercises that we start with is just about creating mobility and looseness through this core. Hands on your thighs. Slide the hands forward, softly drop the head, gently round. Slide the hands back, pull the elbows back, lift the chest and chin, look up. Do that 3 more times. Small movements, feeling the buttock bones in your chair as you tip to the front of the buttocks and tip to the back. So that we're getting pelvic tilts. If you've ever done cat-cow, it's basically a seated version of cat-cow. Pelvic tipping and tilting, and spinal joint gentle motion. The next time you're arched, make that your last one, and then settle back to your middle and go right into rotations. Left hand slides forward, right hand slides back, turning to the right. And then switch. And switch again. So just keep doing this. Same idea. We're not trying to crank the body. We're not trying to force it anywhere, really. We're just feeling a loosening up of those interior relationships. Noticing the body does move this way. And if you're relaxed, you can actually move the body easier than if you tighten everything up and create a bunch of obstacles. So that's essentially the Tai Chi, Qigong sort of approach. Now find the middle again. Arms hang alongside you. And just softly tip. Back up to center and softly tip. All these movements also help us geolocate our middle, showing us that, oh, okay, my upper body can be way tipped over here, yet my middle remains. So it's only that gripping and tension in the body, in the chest and shoulders and upper body, that make us sort of top heavy. But if we release that, we're very adaptable, very supple, very mobile. And let's come back to middle to help really loosen up the shoulders, chest tension. Shoulders come forward, up, back, down. We'll do 4 in each direction. What you're looking for here is the shoulder well, which is the space inside where you have chest, shoulder, and that little sort of empty space, like a well. And the looser that space is, the easier this movement just slides around. Again, we're not cranking the body. We're just, let's go ahead and reverse. Back, up, over the top and down. And the more you can locate that shoulder well, that's all you have to think about in terms of moving the arms. It's just space, open. Round. And back to neutral. Bend the elbows, bring them up. Let's go elbows out and up, and then down, and then in and gently squeeze, and down, out and up, down. Again, just cleaning out congestion in this area. And then elbows back, down, forward and up, and down. One more. Back, then down, forward, then possibly up, and down. Good. And scoot a little bit back on your chair. Let's bring right knee up, right heel pulled in, and then push till that leg straightens. Bring it back up, set it down. Other leg, load, unload, reload, down. Load, push, load, down. Continue. And just extend one leg out, point, flex, ankle and foot. Then invert, evert, a little in, out, just rolling. And and circle. Reverse. And switch. Point and flex. Invert, evert. Circles. Other direction, circles. And scoot forward, edge of your chair. We're just going to stay pretty much here and do double leg external and internal rotation. So go a little wider than your normal hip distance. Lift the toes and turn. So the knees come in a little, the toes come in a little bit. You got internally rotated leg bones in the hips. And then lift the toes and externally rotate, open. So the pelvis stays where it is. This area here on either side of the groin or the genital area, this is the quad. And so there's a space in there somewhat similar to the shoulder well. And we want to feel that space, that freedom inside the hip area. So it's this area being closed and rigid that often attributes to much of the falling and the instability, right? We might think we want to be harder and stronger and stiffer in this area, but from the Taoist and Tai Chi and Qigong viewpoint, it's about the space, cultivating the space. That's most important. And back to neutral. Legs back to this normal shoulder distance. Forward fold. Sit upright. Lean back. Same idea. We're cultivating space in the hip and leg relationship. But now the legs aren't moving. The pelvis is moving. So we're getting clear on that from the brain perspective of how to command this body. Again, just wonder to yourself, did you do this at all during the week? And if not, well, then these tools, there's no way to tell whether or not these tools will create a benefit for you. If you just do them with me, great. But again, the value is the videos are available for you to watch, to do, to ingest, and then eventually put into practice every day before you get up and go about your day. So it's the only way to know practically what the value is, right? All right, standing up and sitting down. Slide your feet back a little bit. Arms loose, chest empty, head area just relaxed, right? So we're not tight, we're loose. Fold at the hips, head and shoulders beyond your ankles, push through the floor and rise up to standing. Sit back down by folding at the hips, then sinking the butt, land it, and sit vertically. Do that 3 more times on your own. And remember, the progression of this exercise is that first we do overt, what you might think of as square, right? Very sharp angles to really understand the movement. Eventually, we want it to be a little more, you might say, round, which would be we just come forward the amount needed and we're rising. Same thing on the way down. We're folding, but only the amount needed to then let the tail sink right through that space. And so we start to find these pathways of least resistance and ease. This is a great place to practice it, but eventually we want that put to practice in all of our movement through this body, right? Loose as can be. Now 3 times squatting, butt goes back a little, sink. Notice that space. Can you slide down, get near your toes, push through the earth and rise back up? So this is a very practical move. Oops, I dropped my pen. Oh, I got to go get my pen. I stick my butt back, sink down, go grab it, push through the ground and come back up. And the key to this is we're not just forward folding. The sink of the butt is key to get down there. And then the push to come back up. And at no point do you need to tense the upper body. All right. So now we're standing. Make your way over towards one, let's say the chair on your right, so that it's there for balance as needed. And over time, you want to try and practice this without having your hand gripped onto the chair or even on the chair at all, but feel free to have the hand there as needed. So we just do body weight shift through the right leg, left foot empties, and change. So we're just kind of casually walking in place. Next time you go through the right leg, lift the left heel, right? So you lift the heel up. Ideally, you can get to the tippity tips of the toes, and then put that foot down and change the weight and get to the other tip of the toes. So we're practicing emptying a leg and feeling how free it is to lift when it's empty. But if we're stuck in both legs and we try to lift it, notice what happens to my torso. It falls off center. But if I first establish my relationship to my root here, then that foot gets free. So that's the technique that if you don't do this while you're moving around, you find yourself in trouble. And I've never seen this not work within the Parkinson's community. When you put it into practice, it works. So direct your mind to letting the weight go through one leg, free the leg. Now you can start to lift it, put it down with no body weight, change. So direct with your mind for that to happen. And then this leg is free and you lift. Change. So Tai Chi is all about easy. Making the movements available to you by making it easy. Finding the space through which the body moves without impediment. It must be practiced. But if you practice it, it happens. Now, you're near your right chair, right leg now, empty, put the heel out in front, not too far, just an easy relationship like that. Weight shifts like a rocking chair into your front leg, and then rock back. Rock to the front, rock to the back. Keep going. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that my middle remains constant. So even though I'm moving through space, I'm not leaning back and leaning forward to try to create that shape. I'm just letting the body weight go through that leg. This one becomes empty. Then I'm coming back. This one becomes empty. So that's now level 2 of the exercise. When you're in your back leg, disconnect by emptying this hip, land it, and then rock. Now, once your back foot's empty, bend the knee, pull the heel towards the butt. Put the toe back down, empty, rock back. Empty hip, leg lift and down. Teacup remains stable. And again. When you lift the leg, that's the proof moment of how empty or not empty is the foot. So if I tip back, that means I never quite empty. But if I can lift and lower without any loss of equilibrium, then I've emptied the leg. So it's proving to yourself, that's what empty feels like. All right. Now level 3, not only hip, but let the knee bend and let that leg float up and lower it, and the heel touches the ground without any body weight in it. Rocking chair. Now, not only heel to butt, but also knee forward and up. Reach the toe back, shift back. So again, lift, lower, shift. This movement can be made very difficult, or it can just be the easiest possible thing in the world. All of that depends on that underlying awareness of full empty, easy. Change, which is full and empty, easy. So I can only say that so many times, but hopefully that's starting to becomes something you actually practically utilize. Last one. And let's change sides. Feet together, step over near your other chair. Inside leg should be your left leg now, out in front, empty, level 1, rock. Rock. And so you can check full empty by doing this little waggle of the leg. Waggle of the leg. From the hip, loose. So the pelvis right at the quad, we talked about the quad. Start to feel how it's inside of that space where the change is happening. And the more open that space, the easier the weight goes straight through the earth, straight through the earth. Now change to level 2. So this left leg empty, left hip empty, lift a straight leg, lower a straight leg, shift. Then heel to butt, place it down, shift. So again, what are we training? We're training the transfer from one leg to the other, and then the transfer from that leg to that leg. Let's go to level 3. So the hip empty, knee bent, lower the whole leg, shift. So not only heel to butt, but hip empty, knee comes up, reach back, shift back. Again, can look like a complicated and difficult achievement, but if you do the one thing first, which is make that relationship correct on your full leg, then this is an afterthought. And get the correct relationship. That's an afterthought. It's the attempt to lift the leg too soon or to never quite actually empty it that gets in your way. And feet together, change sides, go back near your other chair. Now, inside leg out in front, level 1. You rock. Once you get to where this foot's empty, let it just swing in front, heel touch, and rock. Stay there for a moment. So we're all here. Back foot is empty. Now rock back. This leg empty, swing it back and touch the toe empty. And rock back. So again, we can let that flow. It's just rock, swing, rock. The key is shift without stepping, step without shifting, shift without stepping. Discern, create a space between the shift from one leg to the other, the step of the foot, and then the shift. So there's space between all those little portions. If the leg is empty, it can do a whole bunch of interesting things. All right, now level 2, empty hip, leg lifts and lowers. Shift, there's a small obstacle. If the foot is empty, it can just come up and over and land with no disturbance to the middle. Rock. Then heel to butt, put the toe down. Rock back, same thing. Now this one again, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see up, tuck, reach, right? And then shift back. Lift, lower, shift. So it's up and over the obstacle without falling into the leg. Shift. Heel to butt, back down, shift. And now it's that reverse, right? Which is again, up, tuck, reach without putting your weight in the leg. That's the harder of the two because it's going backwards. So what we're doing is polishing the nervous system, polishing the brain relationship to the body and utilizing more and more liquid, fluid, ease. Let's go to level 3. So that would be lift, lower, shift, and then somewhat exaggerated. Heel to butt, knee up, foot extend, lower down, shift. So we're just carving pathways. Heel to butt, knee up, back, shift back. Now, same thing, comes up in front, tucks and reaches back, shift, and up. Let's do a couple more. Exaggerated sort of bicycle maneuver. Half bicycle, reverse, then reverse bicycle. So that's up, tuck, pushing back, touching down, reverse. One more. And together. Let's switch sides. Make your way over to your other chair. Inside leg. Level 1, casual. Casually go through that leg. Once the other foot's empty, step it, touch the heel, shift. And then back, swing it casually back, shift back. So your center is stable. It's using one leg for support and then changing that leg. Then change the leg again. Change the leg again. A couple more, level 1. Casual. Arms loose, chest loose. Lie on your middle. Let's go to level 2. So all that is empty, lift, lower, shift. Then a small obstacle. Foot comes up and over and touch the heel softly down. Then shift. Heel to butt, toe down, shift back. Now again, this is this one where we got to go up, tuck, reach back. That's the tricky part right there, to keep your balance in your front leg, and then shift back. Lift, lower, shift, up and over, shift, heel to butt, toe down, shift back, up in front, bend the knee, push the foot back, shift back, lift, lower, shift, little step. One more. Level 3, so that's where this leg is empty, full chamber, and down. Shift, then exaggerate, heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower the leg, shift, and then heel to butt and knee up, and we go back. Back, shift, full lift, tuck, reach, shift, and up, down. So full empty, that empty leg is free. Shift, full empty leg is free. Change, empty leg is free to explore. Change, empty leg free. It's easy to attend to the moving leg, which pulls us out of our root. But if we make that change of, let me just make sure I'm well connected to the earth, then I'm free to move that leg. And we're back. Now find your runway where you can take about 5 steps or so. I'm moving my chairs back. It can be wherever you need to be. level 1. So foot out in front. And so this is, those of you that have questions about how do I put this into practice, this is that. We're walking across the room. Walking across the room, putting into practice 1 full, 1 empty, change, 1 full, 1 empty, change. Reversing that, 1 full, 1 empty, swing the empty foot. 1 full, 1 empty, swing. 1 full, 1 empty, swing. So that's level 1. Let's do another level 1. As casual as can be. Teacup on your head, just loose, free. One full, 1 empty. If you achieve it, I guarantee your results are better for your steps. Level 2, each step is up and over a small obstacle. Shift, up and over. So this forces you to really feel, is that moving foot empty? If it isn't, you're going to have trouble. If it is, you're going to go, oh, that was easy. Same thing on the way back. If you pause for that extra moment to say, did I empty the foot before I lift it? Then if it's empty and I lift it, it should be easier. And reverse. And reverse. And reverse. Hold on, I have a note here from somebody. Oh, got it. All right, and level 3. So all that is just exaggerated. Heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower down, shift, empty leg. So as long as it's empty, it doesn't matter how high you're lifting it. It's not in trouble. Change. So it's directing our attention to where it needs to be directed. That's what's important. And we're back. Shogun, or closing gesture, where the hands go out, turn palms upish, and this up and over the top with the hands, and a settling down to the very middle of you. So it helps remind us this is what's important, our middle, not up here, not really even down there, that this middle is settled, that everything around it is relaxed and open, and then we can use this body from the middle. Let's go into our side steps. So make your way to the right side of your runway. Empty this foot, the left foot's my right, your left, out. In, out, in. So again, can you go hands free? Give it a shot. And can you also get the whole foot, not just the toe, but can you get the whole foot on the ground, including the heel, and bring it back without leaving middle using this leg and step it out and leave it out. Now, change leg back and forth. So now this is the full leg. This one is on the ground. And then this is the full leg. Remember the quad, the space. That's where the movement happens. When the quad is closed down, everything's so stiff that the only way to change, you see people moving like this, right? You can see it maybe if you're looking. This is all closed and squeezed. And so I have to pull myself out of my leg. But if I'm open, relaxed, loose, then I can move inside that space. This whole foot stays on the ground as well as this. Changing back and forth. The knees are just softly buoyant rather than locked. Now stay in your left leg, right foot now empty, bring it in, out. Again, same idea with the quads, space. It's this space where the weight's over here and this leg is free. And my middle is undisturbed. Now bring the right foot in and keep it in, feet very close together if not touching, and change leg to leg. So this really forces us to find the vertical line through the earth. There's a very small amount of room to move left to right, but yet we still need to be able to create completely empty and then completely empty, switching. So this internal mechanism is what you're looking for here, without disturbing your teacup. Now, the next time you're through the right leg, left foot empty, step, change. Once the right foot is empty, bring it in, change. Left foot step out, change. Right foot step in, change. Out, change. In, change. Looks good. Out, change. One more. And let's go back the other way. Out, change. In, change. So the more spacious and open this through line, the quicker you can do this movement without disturbing the principles. So empty, full, empty, full, empty, full, empty, full. Let's go there and back again. Change. Change. Eventually, it can almost have an instantaneous quality of change and step. Change and step, but we're not rushing. Back the other way. So it's change, bring it in. Change, step it out. Middle undisturbed, teacup undisturbed. And step your feet parallel, hands on the belly for a moment. Change your weight to your right leg, turn the belly button a little bit right, feel the left quad open. Then change to your left leg, then turn the belly, feel the right quad open. Change to the right leg, turn the belly to the right, feel left quad open. And notice I'm not lifting my foot off the floor and I'm not collapsing my knee and I'm not turning too far. So we're just looking for this little internal shift and turn, shift and turn. So we're opening up more space in the quad. We're also finding the waist turn, which is belly button, the lumbar spine behind there can turn a little bit. Now, let your arms sweep. It's the bear washing paws. Back and forth. Next time you shift to your left leg, let the right hand rise up. Shift to the right leg, turn. Cloud in the sky, lake at the bottom, the hands change. Shift, turn, the hands come across. One is low, one is low, one is high. Then they change. Shift and turn. One is high, one is low. The low one comes across. Change. Shift, turn, change. It's called hands play with clouds. Now we use this with our walking. Put it all together. So now we're over here in the right leg. As the hands change, step the right foot in. Change your weight to your right leg and turn to the right. Hands come across. As the hands change, left foot steps out. Shift, turn, cloud, lake. As the hands change, step in. Shift and turn. As the hands change, step out. So we're moving across while doing upper body choreography. This is Tai Chi. This is an advanced Tai Chi move One of the most common Tai Chi moves. Let's go back the way we came. Come in, come out, shift and turn, cloud lake, step in as you vapor and rain, and then change leg, turn as the hands exchange, step out. So we're shifting and turning without stepping, we're stepping without shifting, then we're shifting and turning without stepping, stepping while changing. And this is a somewhat complex move, but it's an easier Tai Chi move in many ways. The step is kind of easy because the side step's not super duper difficult. Let's go back there and back one more time. Try to keep your mind with both hands. So, like I say, cloud and lake, vapor and rain, cloud and lake, vapor and rain. Tendency is to forget one of your hands. And so that's a part of your brain that goes asleep. So keep awareness imbued through the whole body. And just remember, this is a great posture because it's sort of simple. One high, one low, and then they change. The other high, the other low. And so in terms of why you do this is because it makes your brain really have to be into the body. You're practicing moving from the middle and creating this movement throughout the body. Come back to middle, shogun. Settle. Pause here for just a moment. Hands come down. Make your way between your chairs. Either side, give yourself some room to operate. Empty your right leg. So we're turning right leg out, neutral, and then internal, this pigeon toe. What I want you to notice is that your belly button and pubic bone, your hips, when you turn out, there's a little bit of the pelvis turning that way, but not too much. Don't force it. Come back to the middle, you're neutral, and also the opposite here. When you pigeon toe, the pelvis turns a little bit to the left, right? So there's a little bit of a turn out, but there's this turn in, this pinching quality there, right, of the pelvis. So it's not just the leg all by itself. There's some movement there through this whole qua-leg relationship. So let's do that together a couple times. Out, and then we're just going to skip neutral and go in. Out, and in. Now let's go on a little, let's switch sides actually. So empty the left leg, external, and turn it internal. Feel that little subtle change at the quad where the hips and legs meet. So this is incredibly practical, incredibly functional in terms of changing our orientation to space. Once again, empty the right. So now we're going to go around in a circle. Right foot turns out, shift onto it, reorient your body to face quarter turn to the right, bring the left foot to match the right foot, and then empty the right foot again, turn it out. Shift. Empty the right foot and turn it out without any weight in it, and then just super casually change the weight. Empty and turn it out. Change and turn. Let's go around twice. Remember that point about instantaneous. Eventually it's full empty. Full empty. So it can happen quick, you could say, but only to the degree that you can actually make one full, make one empty, and then change that. Let's go to the left now. Left foot empty. We shift and turn and parallel. And then to the degree that you can shift and change, turn the left foot out. shift and change and turn it out. That could all happen in one moment. Same with this. The shift, turn, and bring the foot around could happen in one event. Change and turn. Change and bring. Empty and turn. Through. So this gives you a glimpse that slowing down to develop this quality, this Tai Chi quality, can eventually be used to move more efficiently and therefore quicker. Now, right leg empty, instead of turning it out, turn it in with that little change in the hips and then quarter turn to the left. So right foot pigeon toe and then quarter turn. Right foot pigeon toe should stay empty, and then you feel yourself change the weight and bring the foot. Pigeon. Let's go around twice. Cultivating ease, middle. Eventually not having to look down, but looking around you and feeling yourself connected to the ground. Let's go around the other way. Pigeon toe. Reorient. Once you're back, pause there. Now we put it all together. Right foot turns out, shift onto it, keep turning and pigeon toe your left foot. Shift onto that, keep turning and turn out your right foot. Shift onto it. How's your teacup doing? Pigeon toe. Go around 3 times. So the middle remains floating. You're just changing 1 full, 1 empty, setting up the leg, changing 1 full, 1 empty, setting up the leg. This is all just as practical as can be, right? Oh, the phone is ringing across the room. I got to turn. So I empty a leg and turn and shift and reorient and get ready to head off in that direction. Let's switch directions of rotation. Left foot empty. Shift, turn, pigeon toe. Rely on softness. Rely on ease. Rely on going through your legs to the supportive sturdiness of the earth. Drop your arms. Let them hang. Find your middle. 3 times. And we're back to middle. Shogun, or closing gesture, up over the top, settling down, pausing here. Hands come down. Now that idea of ballistic movement, which means there's a little force, right? So sort of athletic movement. So up till now, we've done all just casual weight changing and how to keep our middle stable, but we haven't really put momentum behind our movement. Let's put a little momentum now. So let's have right foot empty. You can set yourself up back with this here, just in case. Now, inside foot is empty. And this is another key for the Tai Chi leg, is that if you have a locked knee, if your knee is locked, you have no explosiveness out of it. But all it takes is just a little bit of that Tai Chi bend in the leg, just a little bit. And now it's a loaded spring that you could explode from, right? So get comfortable settling through that leg. This foot is empty. And you push off and advance. And you bring this foot forward. Hold on, sorry. So you just advanced into this foot, and this knee is just a little bit bent. This foot is empty. And then we're going to push off and go back. So we're covering a little bit of distance. And this is for various things. You know, this is like boxing. This is all different kinds of athleticism. But what we're really working on is getting some gunpowder, some potency in your legs. So this foot's empty, and it's push. And bring that foot up, but keep it empty. And then this one is full with that slight Tai Chi bend in it. Push back. And keep this front foot empty. The other thing we're working on is here's some momentum, right? Momentum, and we're learning how to direct it down to the floor rather than keeping it up here and we're able to fall over with that, right? So we're learning this Tai Chi skill of taking momentum and guiding it to the floor, guiding it through to the earth. So advance and guide it through to the floor. Keep that back foot empty. And then retreat. Keep that front foot empty. Advance, retreat. Advance, retreat. Do that a couple more times. Advance, retreat. Advance, retreat. Advance. And according to the Tai Chi way of looking at things, there's 13 energies. There's a whole Tai Chi form based on this, but 5 of the energies are the movements of stepping forward, stepping back, turning left, turning right, and middle. So what we're experiencing is 3 of these energies. We're going forward, but then we're finding middle again. So that's 2 energies. Then we're going back and finding middle. Forward, find middle. Back, find middle. Let's switch legs. So you got your other chair ready. Change to your, have your inside leg here empty. Back leg full and slightly bent at the knee. Now we advance, find middle. Retreat, find middle. Advance, find middle. Retreat, find middle. You can think of this almost like fencing, right? Advance, it has a little thrust to it. Retreat. This in fencing, Tai Chi sword, as well as samurai sword, is the first attack and defense that you learn. Is just holding the sword where it is and advancing in space. So it's not any hacking or movement or something out here. It's just moving your middle from where it is to this new place and then back. All right? Advance and retreat. Advance and retreat. One more. Now, make your way over back to your first chair. Have space to your left opened up. Left leg is empty. Now, we're going sideways advance, you could say, or retreat, depending on this relationship. This inside leg empty, this one full, slightly bent. Push. And so you got your chairs there for safety. And again, your middle can remain floating, can remain still and stable as you're changing distance. So this one just requires a little bit of rolling the dice, a little bit of risk, because if we go like this, we're not doing what we want to do. There's a little bit of a launch, you could say. That doesn't mean jump up into the air really high. Doesn't mean throw yourself past your danger zone. It could be right here. right? Very small, but yet I'm saying, okay, explode. Explode, right? So I'm feeling that ballistic quality. Push. Push. And you're working on finding middle. So you're going side, find middle. Side, find middle. Push. And the other thing you really want to work on is, can you keep the pushing leg empty once you get to the other side? So this leg stays empty now. This one's full. When I get over here, this one's going to be empty. Like that. And it's still empty. Right? So a little launch. Little launch. And back to middle. Finishing little sequence here. Come over to one chair. And this is our sequence here. So have your chair like so. So put one chair like this, and you can see me from the back here. So now, step behind, press that heel towards the floor, bring it back up, step feet parallel. So this is one of about 4 closing movements. We'll just do this one today. Touch the toe behind, press, return it up, step parallel. Behind, press, return, here. Next challenge would be no hands. Right? I'm going to turn and face you guys as we do this so I can see. If there's no hands, go hands to navel. The key to doing this exercise correctly is you stay pretty stable here. So even as I'm pressing that heel, what I'm not doing is going back into that leg and turning my belly. I'm staying there even when I press the foot. Come back, change, take it behind. Now again, I stay here even as I press. So I create this hip flexor stretch and this little bit of a twist and this little interesting opening through the lower body. Step behind, press, release it, parallel. So now my weight is in this leg. It stays in this leg even as I press the heel. And then I'm back. Stays in this leg. All right. And finishing self-massage. Hands on either side of the groin. Up to the hip flexors. Around to the tailbone, sacrum. Up onto the love handle area, lumbar muscles. Turn your hands like fists and rub up and down on the lower back muscles. And then hands on the back side. Sit the butt like a squat, like we did at the beginning of class. Hands come around to the inside. They come all the way up past the groin to the belly button. We go quad, sacrum and tail, and then down the outer backside, around to the front and up. Once more, quad, sacrum, down the outside, around, up the inside. And then lastly, up the outer arm to the shoulder, turn the arm over, down the inner arm. So this just resets the channels of the body according to Chinese medicine and how they view the body. So yang channels go that way, yin channels go that way. We're resetting and then switch. And finished. Shogun, or closing gesture. Settle, 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 settle. And seal. 1, 2. All righty. Thank you, everybody. Well done. If you have questions of any kind, we can chat for just a brief moment. Let me know.